Welcome back to Recovery Demystified. My name's Early. I'm so happy to have you today. Recovery Demystified is a 501c3 nonprofit based out of Northwest Arkansas. We do support groups at the library every Monday at 6 o'clock. I produce this podcast, and also we have a free book program. If you are in financial hardship and you want a book on addiction recovery, self-help healing, trauma, anything like that, send me an email, info@recoverydemystified.com, and I will buy that book for you. Also, if you have a little bit of extra money around in your pocket, please go ahead and send us a donation. We have a Venmo and a PayPal, both at Recovery Demystified. Every penny is going to go to helping save lives. Addiction is a public health crisis. People are dying all the time. And yeah, every penny you send is going to go towards helping someone heal. So open thy hearts and open thy wallets, please. The worst part about all of this running a nonprofit thing is honestly fundraising, because money is so awkward. So yeah, if you got a little extra, it would go a long ways. Thank you so much. I today want to talk about something that I literally have never heard anyone talk about on a recovery podcast before, but that I've seen a lot of people like using and struggling with out there in the world, and that is inhalants. Like, hello, can we please talk a little bit about inhalants? I don't know if it's just that no one that I've ever heard interviewed on a recovery podcast has struggled with it or used inhalants, or maybe they're embarrassed. I just don't know. But my experience with it is when I was 18, I started to get into whippets, and that is nitrous oxide. And I would get like cases and cases of it and have the like little whipped cream cracker thing and like inflate a balloon with the whippets and then just like breathe in and out of the balloon until sometimes until I just got like feeling wompy in the head and weird and giggly. But sometimes I would literally do it until like I passed out and woke up like semi-conscious, like chewing on the balloon, which is not cute. But it's like the high is so quick and it wears off, and it seems so harmless at the time that like a lot of what happened to me and a lot of what I've seen with other inhalant users is just like you just get on a roll with it and you just keep cracking whippets over and over and over and over because it wears off, you get high, it wears off, you get high. And it went on for a long time like that in my later teen years. And then when I moved to Gainesville, Florida, there was a huge culture of people huffing poppers, which is amyl nitrate. And it's sold at like sex shops as VHS head cleaner. So it's like, it's like legal use is to clean VCRs. But it's also like a really strong chemical inhalant that people huff. It's used in the gay community a lot because it makes doing it easier, I guess, without being too crude and rude. But then also it gives you that same like inhalant wompy type of feeling. And at first when I moved to Gainesville, I was like, what the fuck are all these punks doing? Like huffing poppers. Like, this is so embarrassing. Then next thing you know, there I was huffing poppers and wanting to fit in and getting a little high and having the same thing pretty much happen that happened to me with whippets, where it's like, well, it wears off, you huff it again, it wears off, you huff it again, over and over and over. And there's some, real embarrassing, iconic story of me being wasted and trying to fall asleep with the poppers under my nose or something. Like, embarrassing. But that is what fucking drugs will do to your brain, kids. You'll try to fall asleep with poppers underneath your nose. Like, what? I also definitely huffed poppers while driving because nothing makes any sense anymore. And like the filter of like what is safe and what is not is just gone. Yeah, and I don't know, like, when you're hanging out with people that are, like, fucking shooting heroin and smoking crack and drinking liquor first thing in the morning, like, poppers kind of just seem pretty PG. But inhalants, like, I personally feel like I've significantly fried, like, a large part of my brain that has never come back online from habitually huffing stuff. I've never gotten that clinically confirmed. I just have a hunch. It's definitely not good for you. But, yeah, I mean, the cravings were there. Addictive behavior was there. Negative consequences were there. And I don't hear people talk about it, but I see people doing it. And I'm sure there's folks out there struggling with it, you know, like not having control over themselves and whatever else. So I just want those people to know, like, you're not alone, you know, like if you need help with inhalant addiction, like that is going to be A-okay, you know, ask for help. Like it's addictive just like everything else. And actually, a few years ago, I was working as an EMT. I spent a couple of years. First, I did volunteer fire rescue in the small town that I live in. And then I went to EMT school and was paid EMT here in Washington County, Northwest Arkansas, for a couple of years. And man, you see some crazy shit on the ambulance. But it seems like duster is kind of an issue with a lot of people. We had several car wrecks where, like, just like the way the car swerved or the person's behavior is completely nonsensical. And then, like, you get to assessing the patient and there's like a cold can of duster underneath of their feet. And I remember being so out of my mind that I was huffing while driving. I never huffed duster, but yeah, it was like poppers at that time. But I've seen a lot of car wrecks caused by people huffing duster. And one of my coworkers had a story where there was a duster car crash and they couldn't find the patient. So then one of the firefighters is standing on top of the fire truck, like looking into like a field. I think it was a cornfield or something, like trying to find the patient. And then they saw the patient out in the cornfield. They thought maybe he was like ejected from the vehicle or something, but they get out there and find him. He'd fled the wreck with only his duster can and was out there in the cornfield after wrecking his car from huffing duster in the cornfield huffing duster. So these inhalants, like, it's pretty rapid how quick they can like break your brain. And folks struggling with inhalant use deserve dignity and help and kindness and care with their addiction and their mental health problems, just like everyone else does. Also, like, tragically, huffing stuff, you can die. I don't know how much of stories I want to tell you guys from the ambulance because it's fucking traumatizing, but I've definitely, me, in my personal experience working on the ambulance, have had one for sure duster caused death. And it was really sad because she had paperwork sitting on her kitchen counter from an outpatient facility that she was getting treatment at for her inhalant addiction. And I made the mistake of like reading like a paragraph of something she had written about like how hopeful she was for her future, and she had a daughter. Her baby's daddy was in jail. It was like a really bad scene, but yeah, the garbage can overflowing with duster, and she was laying on top of an empty can of it where she had died. And like I had to Google it because I was like, damn, you can die from huffing? Like I didn't know that. And I guess perhaps like Aaron Carter, Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys' younger brother, who is also a pop star, apparently died from huffing duster. But it can cause cardiac dysrhythmias that are fatal. It can coat your lungs, so your body can't absorb the oxygen anymore, and that can also be fatal. But yeah, it's not even just that one story I had several other coworkers have duster car crashes and duster death stories from working on the ambulance. And I'm sure it's not limited to duster. I haven't done a ton of research into this subject, but I'm sure any of the other inhalants can have like similar effects, especially after the body is weakened from the chemical compounds after a long time. Like, the cardiac dysrhythmias can come along with any sort of like strong chemical substance like that, especially when you're inhaling it in a concentrated form and denying your brain of oxygen and stuff like that. But yeah, if you are struggling with an inhalant addiction right now, I want you to know I love you and I'm sorry for what you're going through. And if you are in recovery from inhalant use or like polypharmacology, like multiple drug addiction, and you want to tell your story and bring inhalant use into the light of day instead of in the darkness, send me an email, info@recoverydemystified.com, and let's get you on this podcast and bring inhalant use to light. From what I can tell, it seems like whippets are like kind of making a comeback or something, and no shade if you're an inhalant user. Like, I love you and I want you to have the best in life, and you're in charge of your life, and you should always just do whatever suits you. But we need to just bring this stuff out of the darkness, bring it into the light. Like, there are consequences to inhalant use. It's not completely harmless. And I think it's a conversation that we need to be having. So I guess that's all I wanted to speak to y'all about today. Yeah, if you're going through it, I love you. I do. I want you to feel better. Yeah. We got our support groups at the library, Fayetteville Public Library, at 6 o'clock every Monday. If y'all would like to stop in for that, you will be welcomed with open arms, no matter who you are or what you've been through. Okay, my darling. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna hop off of here. It's nice speaking with y'all today. I love you so much. May you be happy and free, dear listener. Recovery Demystified is produced and edited by me, Early Brunner. Stevie Petet made our logo. Our social media manager is Kaylee Bausch. Logan Bragg wrote our beautiful theme music. We are entirely supported by donations as a 501c3 nonprofit. Your tax-deductible donations can be made to our Venmo or to our PayPal at Recovery Demystified. May you be happy and free, dear listener.